Hi there, you join me on a beautiful sunny day with my amazing model Abby, hiding in the background. We're going to do a comparison video today to see whether you really need to spend a lot of money to get great quality results from a lens. I'm going to be comparing two Viltrox lenses, their 50mm f2 Air with their 50mm f1.4 Pro lens. Now the 50mm 1.4 Pro, full disclaimer, was sent to me by Viltrox. They're not being paid to say anything about it, but they did give me it for review, so take from that what you want. The 50mm f2 Air I bought with my own money. Now it's only about £150, so the 1.4 is something like 3 or 4 times the price of it. I'm going to do a range of tests to see how the two of them stack up against each other, drop in some behind the scenes videos and some results at the end. You can see how we got on. Okay, I'm going to start with some side-by-side comparison shots of both lenses shot at f2. Moving from full-length portraits to three-quarter length and finally headshots. As closely as possible, I stood in the exact same spot for each comparison shot, but there may be 3 or 4 inches of a difference, not enough though to have a significant impact. Feel free to pause each slide and make your own observations. So which one is which? Which one looks the best to you? The one on the left was the f2 Air, and the f1.4 Pro was on the right. Now, here are some 100% crops of each shot. First the Air, then the Pro at f2, and I've added a third shot with the Pro wide open at f1.4 to show what that extra stop less depth of field gives you. I've included 100% crops of each headshot with more of the background in the shot to show the nature of each lens's individual bokeh. Now we have some shots taken using off-camera flash, in this case a Pixapro Pica 200, which is a rebranded Godox AD200, and a Magmod Magsphere. Rather than using high-speed sync to keep a shallow depth of field, each lens was stopped down to f8 at ISO 64 on my Nikon Z8. Again, I've added 100% crops of each shot as per the wide open ones. Finally, I've added 3 comparison shots with each lens wide open. f2 for the Air and f1.4 for the Pro. This will give you a direct comparison to show the reduced depth of field you can expect with that wider aperture. So what are my findings? Well, I'm going to start by saying that I've used the f2 Air to shoot weddings and portraits before the 1.4 Pro was launched, and it produced great results. It's a sharp wee lens. It's more than capable of throwing the background out of focus, and it's cheap as chips. Whilst the bokeh might not be the smoothest, it's certainly not unattractive, at least in my opinion anyway. And none of my paying clients complained. The bokeh balls are a bit more oval than most people would like, but as a full-time professional, I have to ask this. Just how important is that to my clients? Do they really care, or do they just want to see a nice, well-lit, well-exposed portrait of themselves or their loved ones? Moving on to the 1.4 Pro, I find it to be, as you might expect, even sharper. It's greater micro contrast, which obviously due to the better lens coatings, etc. And the bokeh is definitely smoother, with more roundness to the out of focus highlights at f2. Shooting wide open, it's sharper than the Air wide open, So again, as you'd expect, once it's stopped down a wee bit to f2, it's a big step ahead. At f8, the bokeh balls of the Pro still have a rounder, smoother appearance, but the difference is definitely reduced. So here are my final thoughts. Both lenses are capable of producing excellent results, with sharpness that punches way above their price point. As I've previously said, I've used the Air on weddings and paid shoots, so it's definitely an option for professionals as well as those on a budget. It's also a great wee travel lens that doesn't take up a lot of space in your camera bag, and it's super light. The Pro is, however, a big step up in terms of build quality, sharpness, autofocus speed and accuracy, especially in backlight or low light situations. Having the wider 1.4 aperture will obviously help pros who might be shooting weddings and events in darker venues, and who will want the smoother bokeh, even if it's just them who really takes much notice of it. In contrast to the Air, it's a big, heavy lens that looks professional. To some photographers, and perhaps some clients, that matters. Whichever one you choose, you'll have a great lens that's capable of producing superb results. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, drop them in the section below and I'll try and answer them as quickly as I possibly can. Till the next time, take care.